Hi, this is a little demonstration or explanation about the development of PokeCatch Helper. Now with Pokemon Go, it's been around for quite some time, 2016, and the catch mechanics of Pokemon Go have been the same since day one. Pokemon Go raids have been around since July 2017, and by the time Rayquaza first appeared in February 2018, I was bored enough to ask myself the question of whether there was any meaning to the Pokeball doing a double wobble before the Pokemon burst out, or if it just burst out straight away without wobbling. Luckily for me, Rayquaza was the first legendary that my family could do on our own. So being able to do the raids on our own gave us the opportunity to drive out to nearby raids on Hatch, do them, and then head home and let me catch them on camera. Analysing the recorded catch sequences identified a pattern to the double ball wobble, and that there was a strong correlation with the actual catch. Armed with that information, I started using a stopwatch during the catch sequences at raids to try and track where I was in the catch window. Now that was relatively effective in that my catch rate increased significantly. However, it was very difficult to determine when the window started. It was sufficient to prove the point though, so the theory was correct. What I really needed though was more data, and version 1 of PokeCatch Helper was just a data logger and 4 stopwatches that I could control using the same buttons that are there today. The data from that led me to realise that the first throw was boosted, which is why first ball pineapping works, despite a lot of people claiming it's rubbish. If the first ball's thrown in the no catch window, it can sometimes do a double wobble. PokeCatch Helper, it actually takes that into account. Generally though, the behaviour of it aligns with a typical sine wave, so I'll just switch over and demonstrate it along those lines. So the typical behaviour might look something like this. So where we go and we start, we're in the catch window. Okay, we could start in a no catch window, but it just repeats periodically. Now the catch window, typically there are 3 sizes, 60 seconds per, or 120 second full cycle is the most common. 30-second cycle or 30-second period, so 60-second full cycle is the next most common. And rarely, but it does happen, I've seen it most with Mewtwo, is that you can have a 2-minute window with a 4-minute full cycle, so 120 seconds. That's not very common. But those are really the only sizes. PokeCatch Helper will sometimes calculate odd sizes like 45-second windows, 90-second windows. That's mainly just to try and get you to throw into an area where it can get enough data to make a right decision. The latest version allows you to override that and force it to a 30-second or 60-second window, but we'll get to that a bit more later. What we have here is a typical catch window, but the effect, this is only generated, or this 50-50 balanced window is only really generated by throwing a great throw, a small circle great throw, or an excellent throw with a golden raspberry. So if you're not throwing a golden raspberry, or you're not throwing great throws, or you happen to miss one of your throws, it looks a bit more like this. So what we have here is a slightly less balanced one, and you can see that the catch window period is significantly smaller in size to the no catch window. And this is how Niantic, either by accident or by design, have implemented the use of the raspberries, pineapples, and the great throw mechanisms and whatnot. Having worked all of this out, and with a lot of encouragement from my local Pokemon Go community, it was time to turn PokeCatch Helper from a fancy stopwatch to a predictive app that calculates the size of the catch window and its position. It's been very effective for many players, and for others I cannot say what their problem is. Sometimes the world just needs its haters. Or perhaps they're looking for a cheating app. Who really knows? This is not a cheating app. It doesn't interact with the game at all. As can be seen though, waiting to be within a catch window is extremely time consuming. PokeCatch Helper is not compatible with fast-paced raiding, and for players who only play that way, it doesn't help much. But the most recent update of PokeCatch Helper is designed to try and help with missed windows. So in some circumstances, you can have the situation where you're in the catch window and you're operating normally, and then all of a sudden it's bursting out straight away. Now, to simulate what that might look like, we have this one here. And so yeah, the catch window is normal, the catch window is normal, and then you come through and you go to throw in what you think is the catch window and it bursts out straight away. The problem with that is the PokeCatch Helper will then probably calculate it as, say, a 90-second window, a 75-second window, and it's not really. You just need to wait to get back into the 60-second window. That's why with the addition of the 30 and 60 buttons under the slider on the PokeCatch Helper overlay, you can now force it back to 60 seconds and be sure that when you get past that missed window that you actually get into the next proper catch window. Using the various methods, so the stopwatch, recording those original ones, and then the later versions of the app itself, I have a good 12 to 18 months worth of data that I've been analysing as I go. The version that is publicly released doesn't collect any data. It has no internet connections or any way to actually send any data out. It's completely standalone, isolated to the phone. I'm a bit of a security nut and I really don't like apps that collect data on people, so I'm not about to do that to others. And I've got enough data on this myself. The data that I've collected is quite a lot of catches, so many hundreds of catches, and all it does is prove to me that these catch windows exist and that the catches occur within the catch windows. It explains quite significantly why there are a lot of people who have really bad catch rates, even though they can reliably throw excellent balls with golden raspberries. It's just that they're throwing all of their balls in the no catch windows. But that's particularly so when it comes to things like Mewtwo in EX raids, where EX raids are pretty much a guaranteed catch. You know, you have to try really, really hard to get it to run away. And yet people achieve that, and it's really just because they throw all of their balls in the no catch window. So I hope that anyone who really is interested in catching as part of their gameplay and likes to have a high catch rate is happy to actually use the app and happy to give it good reviews when they do. I do know a lot of people who don't use it because it doesn't suit their gameplay. I know a few people who can't use it because they have Apple phones. I don't own an Apple phone, so I'm not about to develop an app for one. And hopefully, yeah, people from this can get an understanding of what I mean when I'm talking about catch windows. So, goodbye, good luck.